Welcome back, decoders. Good evening or good afternoon to everyone. Just got over from Square Peg Divergence channel, watching her new video. So if you guys aren't subscribed, go check out Square Peg Divergent. But now I'm here to talk about lightning, right? So it's been a few days, guys. I've been a little bit under the weather. Don't know what's going on with me, but you know how my girlfriend was sick and then she had to leave and then I got down with something. Been having kind of headaches and stuff, but I feel I'm not as down and out as she was. But hopefully I'll be back at the grind here and be releasing some more videos. But this video, I've been wanting to do this video for a while, but I figured today was a good day to do it. So, hey, Beth. 22 divided by 7. Hello. Kevin, what's up? What's up, bro? I know me and Kevin were talking about this Friday the 13th coming up. Of course, in this video, Kevin, I'm not going to talk a whole lot about what we were talking about. I'm going to talk more about the lightning here, but probably another video focused on what we were talking about the other day. Hey, Rick, how you doing? Still probably a lot of people watching Square Peg's video. I didn't know she was putting out a video, so hopefully it's not, I don't cut into her audience too much, but hello, Debbie. So anyways, guys, lightning, right? And if you guys have been following my channel for a longer period of time, you guys know that I've talked a lot about lightning on this channel, a lot about power outages, a lot about blackouts and EMPs and electricity. I've talked about, this is probably one of the main topics on my channel. And, basically this lightning thing keeps coming up. So I just want to bring up a few lightning stories that are in the news recently, just so you guys can see that there's always some sort of lightning news going on. The first one I noticed just 2 days ago. I don't know if you guys saw the video of this, but it looks crazy. There was 2 people on a Mexican beach that were struck by lightning. You can watch the video. I mean, except for they blur it out, so you can't actually tell if it's a real video. It kind of looks fake to me, but definitely something to look at with this Mexico thing. And then there was a Delta flight that was struck by lightning on a trip from Chicago to Boston. And that happened yesterday or 2 days ago as well. So you had 2 lightning stories in the news. And the plane being struck by lightning is very interesting. I'm going to talk about that later in this decode. But the first thing I want to talk about is skull and bones and their connection to lightning, okay? And I'm going to show you guys exactly why this group, this society is very connected to lightning. And if you look at the numbers, that is, you're going to see that these 2 things are pretty much synonymous, skull and bones and the lightning strike. So skull and bones, right? And if you go over to gematria, right, you're going to see that a lightning bolt and skull and bones both equal 149, okay? And in fact, if you actually look at the full gematria of these 2 words, skull and bones and lightning bolt, you're going to see that 3 out of the 4 ciphers, skull and bones is a match to lightning bolt, okay? 149, 202, and 67, and the reverse 67, 76. So kind of a 3 cipher match, skull and bones and lightning bolt, okay? But anyways, the main number I want to talk about here is the number 149, okay? This is like the number 149 and the number 223. These are the 2 numbers I want you guys to keep in your head the whole decode. So 149 is the gematria of skull and bones and lightning bolt. It's also the gematria of Revelation and Antichrist. Now, there's a huge connection between lightning and Satan and the Antichrist, because in the Bible, in Luke 10:18, Satan falls like lightning from heaven, right? And thank you, Rick, for sharing SquarePeg's link. If you guys want to check out SquarePeg, Rick just shared the link in the description. So anyways, Yale University. So there's something big coming up. So we have a Friday the 13th coming up on October 13th. Now, this is very interesting, guys, because Friday the 13th, we've had 2 Friday the 13th this year. The first one was on 1/13, okay? And the second one is on 10/13. So exactly 9 months apart and essentially the same date. Because if you drop the 0 in October, the 10th month, you essentially get the 1/13, just like the first Friday the 13th earlier this year was also on 1/13. So what are the chances that both Friday the 13th happen this year on the same date, essentially? Because essentially, again, if you drop the 0 in October, you're going to get the 1/13. And they're exactly 9 months apart. We know the 9 is a big number. I mean, it's the last of the single-digit numbers. So it's kind of like a completion symbol. And I did a lot of decodes on this first Friday the 13th. If you guys go back on my channel to the beginning of the year, I was doing a lot of decodes on this Friday the 13th. And in fact, this day, I want to talk about this day a little bit and go back to the beginning of the year and show you guys what happened on that day and how it ties perfectly to this next day, this next Friday the 13th. But before I do that, what is the connection between a lightning strike, a lightning bolt, and Friday the 13th? Well, I want you guys to notice that the words Friday the 13th equals skull and crossbones, which again goes back to the Skull and Bones Secret Society. Their symbol is the skull and crossbones. So 223. Now we're in the year 223. And skull and crossbones equals 223. And of course, we know that skull and bones, their number is 322, which is the reverse 223. So again, what are the chances of that? Now, if we go back over here, we're going to see that lightning strike and Friday the 13th both have the 223, like skull and crossbones. So also don't leave out the word electromagnetic pulse, which I believe could be what they blame the power outages on. That also equals 223. So I want you to look at these two numbers here, 149 and 223. And I'm going to show you how these two numbers have a mathematical relationship that ties them together and how it's tied to lightning and skull and bones. All right. So if you go over to the number, let me see if I can find it here. Hold on. Actually, I don't seem to have it up. Hold on a second, guys. So again, I told you guys the number 149 and the number 223. Okay. I want you guys to notice that the number 1409, which is essentially the same number as 149, is the 223 prime number. Do you guys see this? A mathematical relationship between the 149 and the 223. Again, guys, in numerology, when you have a 0, it's a null value, right? So you can drop the 0, and in this case, you would get the number 149. And that is the 2, and that leads us once again to the 223. And again, I showed you over here in the gematria that skull and bones equals lightning bolt, and that lightning strike equals skull and crossbones. And these are the two numbers that I just showed you, the 223 and the 149. So these two numbers have a mathematical relationship, and the gematria also points us to that same relationship. 149, 223. Okay. So let's go back to the first Friday the 13th, because again, Friday the 13th equals 223, like lightning strike. On that day, the first Friday the 13th, there was a movie released called Plane. And this movie just happened to have a lightning strike in the movie. Notice that it says, pilot Brody Torrance saves passengers from a lightning strike by making a risky landing on a war-torn island. So again, this Friday the 13th, earlier this year, had a lightning strike. The movie that was released on this day had a lightning strike that brings the plane down in the movie. And I just showed you the mathematical relationship between the 149 and the 223, going back to lightning bolt and Friday the 13th. Lightning strike equals 223. Friday the 13th equals 223. Okay? And on Friday the 13th this year, a movie comes out with a lightning strike, taking down a plane. And this was not the only thing that happened on this day that connects to lightning, because if you guys remember, there was a wrestler that died just in August named Bray Wyatt, and he competed at the Royal Rumble on January 28th, just 2 weeks after the Friday the 13th, earlier this year. And look at the cover of the Royal Rumble. It's all about lightning, guys. Okay? And remember, the lightning and the Friday the 13th go hand in hand with Skull and Bones, right? So Bray Wyatt on the 13th, on the same day that this Plane movie came out, he gave a speech on that same day, Friday the 13th, about a power outage. He literally said in his speech, saying that when the lights go out, you should run. So he says this the same day, Friday the 13th, the same day that a lightning strike in a movie takes down a plane. And on that same day, Friday the 13th, Bray Wyatt does a speech saying, when the lights go out, you should run. If you guys want to look it up on YouTube, I can't play it on here, but if you guys want to go look it on YouTube, you guys can see Bray Wyatt. He says it's going to be a baptism in the dark. He says, when the lights go out, you should run. Okay? I talked a lot about this speech in my earlier videos this year. But again, this was the same day, Friday the 13th. And here's what's crazy interesting, okay? So I told you that 2 weeks after that day, he was in a match at the Royal Rumble with the lightning all over, okay? And in this match, he was in the pitch black match, which was all about blackouts, okay? And at that match, it was in San Antonio, okay? So this is huge, guys. Pay attention to this one. This is huge. This match was in the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas. This lightning symbolism, this blackout symbolism happened in San Antonio. And why is that important? Because one day after the Friday the 13th in October that's coming up, on October 14th, there is an eclipse going directly over San Antonio. I hope you guys caught that. Bray Wyatt's last match was a lightning match in San Antonio. Okay? And one day after the Friday the 13th, which connects to lightning strikes and power outages, there's an eclipse going right over San Antonio. And that's not the only eclipse. Remember, the other eclipse that's going to happen next year on April 8th is going to make an X right over San Antonio. So this is the first one out of the two. So they're pointing us to San Antonio. Okay? Again, it's not a coincidence that they held this Royal Rumble in San Antonio. And it was connected. Again, guys, for all those who are late here, let me show you. The two Friday the 13th are both the same day, essentially. 113, January 13th, and the one coming up, October 13th, 113. Okay? So, again, We just had these stories of a plane getting struck by lightning. And I told you that on Friday the 13th earlier this year, there was a movie coming out about this same thing, a plane getting struck by lightning, okay, called Plane. And remember how Biden was in Hawaii and he said he was trying to compare his own situation with the Hawaii people about the Maui fires. And Biden literally said, he said, a lightning strike hit my home. And so Biden was even giving you the lightning strike comparison when he was in Maui. And remember, Maui was connected to Bray, Wyatt, and the Do weapons, right? Okay. So anyways, guys, the mathematical relationship between the 223 and the 149, again, just to show you guys again one more time, the 1409 is the 223 prime. You drop the 0, you get 149. That's the 223 prime. These two numbers are connected to lightning bolt, which equals 149, and lightning strike, which equals 223. And we're talking about Friday the 13th, which also equals 223. Now, just to show you guys more symbolism of how Friday the 13th and lightning strikes are connected, if you go back to August 13th, 2010, there was a 13-year-old boy that was struck by lightning at 13:13 on Friday the 13th. I mean, come on. I mean, right here, guys. Lightning strikes boy at 13-year-old boy at 13:13 on Friday the 13th. Okay. I talked about this in a video earlier this year. Okay. But again, Friday the 13th and lightning strike are synonymous, guys. I'm telling you, anytime you see Friday the 13th, you can probably connect it to a lightning strike or some sort of lightning symbolism. And I remember when I did this video earlier this year on this boy that was struck by lightning, and I measured it to the other Friday the 13th, there was 149 months exactly. So let's just show you guys. I showed you guys the connection between 149 and lightning strike and Friday the 13th. So if you go from the day the boy was struck by lightning in 2010 to the first Friday the 13th this year, so that was on January 13th, look how many months it was, guys. Between the boy being struck by lightning, the 13-year-old boy, it was 149 months exactly to this first Friday the 13th this year on January 13th. And just look, remember, what does lightning strike equal, or lightning bolt? 149. There was exactly 149 months between the boy, the Friday the 13th, and the Friday the 13th, 149 exactly, right? So, I mean, come on. And then that leads us to this upcoming Friday the 13th, which is 158 months, which I could talk a lot about this number. I'm going to talk about it in a little bit, okay? So, another connection between Bray Wyatt, because again, Bray Wyatt was in the pitch black match. He just died, right? He was in this match. And on Friday the 13th, earlier this year, he talks about a baptism in the dark. And if the lights go out, you should run. This is exactly what he said on Friday the 13th, earlier this year. And then he dies. So now we've got I want to pivot for a minute, and I want to talk about Barack Obama, okay? Let's see. Hold on. See if I can find it here. Okay. So I wanted to show this on my channel, right? So in the Strong's Concordance, Barack means flash of lightning. Okay. And just notice that Barack is the 1301 word in the coordinates, in the concordance. And how does that connect to Friday the 13th? Well, what do you get if you read this number backwards? 101 or 31. It's almost the same date that Friday the 13th comes this year. Do you see that? So Barack, which means lightning, is the 1301, and this is the same digits in the Friday the 13th that are coming up, you know, because Friday the 13th this year is on 1013. These are the same digits, guys, 1013, and this means lightning, okay? A flash of lightning. His last name, Barack's last name, means from a high place, right? in the Strong's Concordance. It means from a high place. So Barack Obama means lightning from a high place. Why is this important, guys? It's because I'm going to show you another lightning story that's tied to 149, okay? Barack Obama had a lightning strike on his birthday at the White House in 2022 on August 4th. Again, guys, what are the chances of that? There was 3 people killed from Wisconsin, and Wisconsin equals lightning, by the way, guys. And Obama's the 44th president. Lightning equals 44. Wisconsin equals 44. But anyway, on his birthday, August 4th, there was a lightning strike. All right. So what do you get if you measure from the lightning strike on his birthday? Let me pull it up, guys. So the lightning strike was on August 4th, 2022. And what do you get if you go to this coming Friday the 13th? You get 149 again. I mean, what's the chance of that? It's 14 months and 9 days from the lightning strike on Obama's birthday, which is the 149 days left in the year, and lightning bolt equals 149, like skull and bones, like Antichrist, like Revelation. Okay? So again, let me bring that up so you guys can soak that in, because that is not a coincidence. That happened. The lightning strike happened on his birthday on the 149, and it's exactly 14 months and 9 days before Friday the 13th. Right here. So watch this day, guys. And again, I told you the next day is the eclipse. And a few days before that, on the 9th, is the 322 anniversary of Yale Skull and Bones. So, I mean, I'm telling you, like this week, I've talked about it before in my other videos, but again, Yale Skull and Bones was founded 322 years ago. The university Yale is founded on October 9th. So this year will be its 322nd anniversary. And then a couple days later, you have the Skull and Bones Lightning Day, the Friday the 13th on 10/13. And then one day after that, you have the eclipse in San Antonio. Why is this San Antonio connection important? Because again, Bray Wyatt wrestled the pitch black match in San Antonio. And guess what San Antonio equals, guys? Look at this. San Antonio equals Skull and Bones. You see this? 41. Skull and Bones, San Antonio, 41. Okay? And again, San Antonio was where this took place, and this is where the X happens. The eclipse happens the next day, right? That's not a coincidence. And what's October 14 equal? I mean, this is a bit of but October 14th does equal 223, like Skull and Crossbones, like Lightning Strike, like Friday the 13th. And again, it's coming up one day after Friday the 13th. I also put in here Joe Biden dies because I thought that was interesting. That might not mean anything, but just watch for that. You guys know I talk about that a lot. So, and again, who was Joe Biden? Joe Biden was the vice president to Barack Obama. My computer's being very slow, guys. So Joe Biden was the vice president to the lightning god, Barack Obama. Let's put it that way. Okay, and what does vice president equal? It equals 149, like lightning bolt, like Skull and Bones. Who's the current vice president? Kamala Harris, and she's born on 10/20, which is only a few days after these eclipses. So let me lay this out for you guys. There's a lot of dates to watch in October. Basically every Friday. I'm watching every Friday because, again, I think it will happen on a Friday. If you guys have ever seen the X-Files episode where they talk about the power going out, they'd say it'll probably happen on a Friday. Or maybe it starts on a Thursday evening and goes into a Friday, right? But anyways, you have Friday the 13th, and then you have Kamala Harris's birthday the next Friday, okay, on October 20th. And then you have 10/27, which I've already talked about this date earlier and how it connects to the 149. If you guys didn't watch my video about that, go back and watch. This date also connects to JFK, who was the 35th president. And remember, guys, 149 is the 35th prime number. Okay, and this is the number I'm talking about, the 149. And this 1027, this next Friday after that, connects to it. Okay. But I want to backtrack a bit, and I want to talk about 929. So this is where I get into the very interesting part of the decode. 929 is a Friday, again. So I want to reference this movie. Hopefully you guys can see it. So this movie came out on June 16th, 2023. It's called The Flash, okay? And I want you guys to notice the cover has the lightning bolt, and it has Batman in the movie. Now, this is important because if you guys didn't know, Batman, in the Batman story, Batman's great-grandfather founded Skull and Bones. Do you guys see this? So Batman has a connection to Skull and Bones. So Skull and Bones being tied to Batman, and then you have the lightning strike, the Flash with the Batman in the background. Okay. And this movie had a very predictive event in the movie that I have to share with you guys. Okay. So in the movie, it's basically about two Flashes. Notice this is the same guy, one with the long hair and one with the short hair. Okay, so this older Flash, this is the older Flash. He travels back in time using his powers, okay? And he meets his younger self, who is this one with the longer hair here. And what happens when he meets his self, if you guys don't know the story of the Flash, he gets his powers by getting struck by lightning, okay? So again, this is another connection to lightning. But again, the Flash gets his powers by getting struck by lightning. And in this movie, the older Flash has to go back in time, but he realizes when he meets his younger self that his younger self has not gotten his powers yet. So he takes his younger self to the same place where he got his powers, where he got struck by lightning. And I want to fast forward, and I want to show you what happens here. So he's leading him into the same place that he got his power. So this is the older Flash who already has his power. This is the younger Flash. He's going to make him get struck by lightning so he can get his powers. But what happens is the lightning hits him. Now look, notice the American flag here. I don't think that's a coincidence. Notice that as the lightning is coming down, there's an American flag right there for us to see. But notice that when the lightning comes through, it hits the older Flash and goes through him and goes to the younger Flash. And what happens here is this Flash, the older Flash, loses his power. And the younger Flash gains the power. Do you guys understand this? The lightning strike causes a exchange of power. What does this remind you of? This reminds you of a president exchanging power. A younger power, just like Kamala Harris is younger. This is the younger Flash. He gets the power. The older Flash loses the power. And the lightning strike is the catalyst for which that happens. And remember, Joe Biden was talking about a lightning strike in Hawaii earlier this year after the fires. And in this movie, this is the exact thing that happens. Okay? And what's interesting is what happens here is when the older Flash gets struck by lightning, his tooth comes out. So you guys can see it right here. The tooth flies out of the mouth of the older one and into the mouth of the younger one. Okay, so not only does the lightning strike give him the powers, he also swallows the tooth of the older one. So there's some symbolism here that I haven't quite figured out yet. But anyways, you can see that the lightning goes into, the tooth goes into the mouth of the younger Flash. And again, guys, this date, what day do they say in the movie that this lightning strike, this power transfer takes place? Guess what date, guys? The date is 9/29. So in the movie, the Flash needs to get his power on 9/29. And they specifically say this in the movie. They don't hide it at all. They tell you this date. And what's interesting about this date is if you go to the character who plays the Flash in the movie, Ezra Miller, look at his birthday, guys. His birthday is one day after that day, September 30th. Okay? So basically what I'm saying is that they tell you the date, 9/29, okay? And the actor that plays the guy in the movie was born the next day. So again, they scripted it perfectly because they chose the date in the movie, 9/29. This is when the exchange of power happens. And then the next day is the guy who plays the characters. It's his birthday. Okay, 9/30 is Ezra Miller. Okay. And what does Ezra Miller equal in gematria? Well, it just happens to equal power outage. Okay. So Ezra Miller plays the Flash, and he just happens to equal power outage in 2 out of the 3 ciphers. And he has the 119. And the date in the movie that he loses the powers, 9/29, is exactly 119 days. Or sorry, it's not 119. What was it? Oh, sorry, it's 119 days to Friday the 13th. See? So Ezra Miller equals 119, and from the release of Flash to Friday the 13th is 119 days. So that's something to watch for again, another connection to the 119. Again, Ezra Miller is the one who plays the Flash in the movie, okay? And if you guys look into this character, I mean, this guy is some odd character. I mean, just read his story. He's got a lot of disorderly conducts, choking incident. Look at this Hawaii incidents, you know? And we've had all this Hawaii stuff. But he's also been connected to a Native American Indian named Dakota Iron Eyes. And, you know, if you guys want to go read his story, you know, that's up to you. But anyway, he considers himself, Miller allegedly refers to himself as the Messiah of the Native Americans. Can you believe this? This guy who played the Flash, he considers himself the Messiah of the Native Americans. And he connects himself to the girl Iron Eyes. That's his girlfriend, who's a Native American, because she is an apocalyptic Native American spider goddess. So again, he considers his girlfriend as a Native American spider goddess, and then he considers himself to be the Messiah of the Native Americans. So yeah, anyways, guys, you can read more about this character who plays the Flash, but I guess we'll see. But anyways, I really just don't think this is a coincidence with this 9/29 date. And if you guys saw my video from a few days ago, I talked about the number 9/29. So let me go to the Jewish cipher real fast so you guys can see this 9/29 connection. So 9/29 is in the United States of America. Okay. And remember, in the movie The Flash, there's an American flag in the shot on 9/29 when the power exchange happens. And if you guys watched my video of my last video on the 33 trillion debt ceiling for the United States, I pointed out in that video that the United States was exactly 929 from July 4th, 1776 to the day the debt hit 33 trillion on 9/18, that the United States was exactly 929 old, right? So I showed you this number is connected to the United States because the United States of America equals 929, and the United States of America was exactly 929 days old on the day it hit 33 trillion in debt. Okay. A lot of you guys probably saw this already, but I wanted to really point that out and show that its connection to this coming date of 929. And I know Square Peg has Divergent has been talking about this date as well. So we will see, or we'll see if it happens on another Friday. Because again, guys, I really think it's going to be a Friday that we have some sort of event, whether it's a power outage or whether it's Joe Biden event. I don't know. But remember, all the Fridays. Oh, I also wanted to point out something. Remember how I told you guys that Bray Wyatt had his pitch black max in Texas and San Antonio? Well, I want you guys to notice that a few days after Friday the 13th, on October 17th, the Chargers, the Lightning Bolt team, play the Texas team. Now, this is important because the Chargers are the LA Chargers. And in the pitch black match, Bray Wyatt beat LA Knight. So in the pitch black match in Texas and San Antonio, Bray Wyatt beats a guy named LA Knight. And a few days after Friday the 13th and the eclipse that's in San Antonio, you have the Chargers, the Lightning Bolt, facing the Star, the Texas team. And just look at this. The two games that are on either side of Friday the 13th for the Chargers, the Lightning team, are the Skull and Bones team, the Raiders with the Skull and Bones logo, and then the Texas team. So right in the middle of Skull and Bones and Texas is Friday the 13th that I've been talking about. So, and then we also have tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow is another Friday, and I want you guys to watch for lightning symbolism tomorrow. Why? Well, because tomorrow is the day leaving 100 days left in the year. And what does lightning equal in gematria? So lightning equals 100. And tomorrow is the day leaving 100 days left in the year. And it's a Friday. So again, like I said, guys, I can tell you over and over, but I just feel like a Friday is what they're pointing to, right? So yeah, watch tomorrow. Maybe we get a lightning strike somewhere. But I also want to point out the next day, because a lot of people have been talking about this day, and this day connects to it as well. And how does this day connect to lightning? Well, because in gematria, Jupiter equals 99, okay? So Jupiter is the lightning god, Zeus, Jupiter, Zeus, right? And Jupiter equals 99. Well, Jupiter equaling 99, September 23rd is the day leaving 99 days in the year. So again, this would be connected to the mythologies of Jupiter, because it's the 99 days left in the year, and Jupiter equals 99, and Jupiter is connected to the lightning bolt, right? Yeah, that's a good point, Square Peg. Let me look at that, actually. I remember that Prince Philip died on the 99th day of the year at 99, yeah. So he died in 2021, I believe, on 4/9. Huh. I just wanted to see what the date measurement between the day he died at 99 to the Saturday coming up, the 99 days left in the year. 897 days. Yeah, I don't know. Just thought that would be an interesting connection if I could find something, but all right, guys, I'm going to the chat now, obviously, so I can read some of what you guys are saying. So anyways, guys, I shared a bunch of information in here, how lightning bolts and skull and bones go completely hand in hand, why Barack Obama was born on the 149 day of the year, and his name means lightning from heaven, right? That's what his name literally means. Wait, why does this say 223 here? How did that happen? Is that what time it is in Texas right now? Why is that up on my screen? That's crazy. I don't know. I just had typed in, is this really the local time there? No, it can't be. But whatever I was doing, guys, I had San Antonio. This is crazy. Whatever I was just doing here on this screen, I had 2:23 p.m. up on there, and I was talking about 2:23 in San Antonio. What the heck? I don't know how that happened because I don't remember that. See, I was just talking about this number, guys. Like, what's the chances of that? Yeah, so I must have accidentally hit, because Square Peg says it's 2:41 in Texas right now. So somehow I must have accidentally hit this at the exact time of 2:23. I mean, what are the chances of this stuff, guys? This happens to me all the time. I mean, what are the chances of that? That I hit this, I accidentally clicked this right here, the time in San Antonio, and that was the time I clicked it. Like, come on now. Yeah, so anyways, this was all the 223s I talked about if you guys missed it. Yeah, thanks, Joseph. Thanks, Joseph, for leaving that in the chat as well. Joseph's leaving all the 223s in the chat. But yeah, guys, watch for San Antonio. There's going to be an X over San Antonio from the two eclipses. And Bray Wyatt was in a match about power outage there earlier this year. So I don't know. Seems like not a coincidence to me. Yeah, you're right, James, Rick. Google probably messing with me or something. Yeah, it happens to me a lot, guys. I'll be doing a number and I'll be in the chat or something, and that number will be up. It's just crazy. So yeah, guys, a lot to watch out for. Doesn't mean anything's going to happen. We know this. We know it's very hard to predict exactly what's going to happen, but we just know that in this October, it's a very big event coming up with the eclipse and the Friday the 13th, so, and the Skull and Bones. Let's see. Yeah, that's a good connection. Kelly Kibo in the chat, she's saying that BBC is 223. Yeah. And you guys know, if you guys have ever seen Elvis's plane, you know, Garo over at Jurassic Liars talks about this a lot, but this is just another Skull and Bones ritual with Elvis, right? Let me get my computer to work here. So, you know, his saying was taking care of business, right? Which is TCB, and he used to have a lightning bolt right with it, right? So again, it's trying to point you right again to the lightning, right? But what is the letters TCB? It's 2. Notice that the C is on top, so you could read it like 3, 2, 2. You get it? C is the 3rd, T is the 20th, which is just 2, and B is the 2. So it's 3, 2, 2. Skull and bones, lightning bolt. So yeah, lightning bolt right in the middle of the 3, 2, 2. Again, skull and bones is the order 3, 2, 2. So even Elvis's symbol was a skull and bones ritual, which obviously connects once again to Satan falling like lightning. Because once again, guys, if we go back to the 149, and I showed you earlier that 1409 is the 223 prime number. So again, 1409, 223 prime, and that connects to Antichrist, Revelation, lightning bolt, skull and bones, lightning strike, skull and crossbones. I mean, what are the chances that skull and crossbones equals 223 like lightning strike and lightning bolt equals 149 like skull and bones? It doesn't matter how you type it in, whether you do skull and bones or skull and crossbones, you get the same connection. And if you go to the number, you get the same connection there too, 149 and 223. I mean, it's absolutely insane. Rick James, he says every Friday you dress in black. I dress in black a lot. My girlfriend says I look the best in black, so I dress in black a lot. Not because I like black more, but she says it looks the best on me, so I wear black. Yeah, thanks, Joseph. Beast system also equals 149. Beast system. So yeah, the 149 is huge, guys. 149 is the 35th prime number, which connects back to the Catholic. Hey, Square Peg, I meant to ask you, have you seen anything on San Antonio in any of your research at all? Because I don't think this is a coincidence, this San Antonio thing. So I'm just wondering if you've seen anything with San Antonio. Yeah, so yeah, it seems like this 135 and 140, or this 35 and 149 connection is all connecting back to Satan, the Antichrist, Baphomet, Catholic. Yeah, it's definitely connected. Yeah, Blue Lotus. Yeah, you're right. The reason that I think that Kamala Harris could become president on a Friday is because she's ruled by Venus, and Venus is normally associated with Lucifer, the morning star, right? And she's obviously ruled by Venus. And don't forget, guys, we're about ready to enter Libra. In fact, I think Libra starts on September 23rd, if I'm not mistaken. Does Libra start on September 23rd, guys? Libra start date. Yeah, so Libra is September 23rd, and Libra is all about judgment. Oh yeah, I forgot that, Joseph. Good connection. Morning star. Venus is known as the morning star, right? So again, 149, guys. 149. I could probably make a whole channel just based on this number, I think. I mean, anything that has to do with Satan, the Antichrist, Revelation, the beast system, morning star, Baphomet, Satan, it all connects to this 149 number. Oh, and vice president equals 149 too. Don't forget, who's the vice president right now, guys? and she's ruled by Venus, which is the morning star, which also equals 149. So anyway, guys, I wanted to mention Libra because Libra starts and Libra is the judgment. I didn't even realize this, but Libra in Sumerian Babylonian means the lion. Huh. Wow, I did not know that. Well, heck. I should go back and look and see who the last Libra president was. But what are the chances that Libra is connected to the lion? I didn't know this. And I've been talking about Kamala Harris and the lion for so long. Yeah, I also need to go back and look at that Katy Perry thing on the lion. You're right. Oh, yeah, Rick James. That's a good point. There was that hack, that cyber attack in Vegas. Huh. Skull and Bones. The Vegas Raiders have the Skull and Bones logo. And that could be the precursor to a bigger cyber attack. Remember, Klaus Schwab said the next pandemic will be a cyber pandemic. And what if they're just starting this with these cyber attacks on? Oh, Jimmy Carter was the last Libra president. Well, that was quick, Eric. I don't know how you found that out so fast, but that was quick. So Jimmy Carter, and isn't Jimmy Carter the one that's on his deathbed right now? Huh. So yeah, guys, Jimmy Carter is the last Libra president. At least that's what Eric said. So if that's the case, he's the one that's about ready to die right now. I mean, you would think that he's getting close, at least within the next. I mean, look at him, guys. He looks like he got punched. Man, he doesn't look good. So I think that's very interesting that the last president that was Libra is on his deathbed, essentially. Yeah, thanks guys for the good connections as always. Yeah, and Joseph said back before, he said, yeah, what's the chances that Obama's birthday is on 149 left in the year? Yeah, and then he had the lightning strike on his birthday. I mean, it's and what's the chances that the other famous president, John F. Kennedy, was born on the 149 day of the year? Again, these are the two. I mean, John F. Kennedy is also involved in all of this somehow. Yeah, he does have the JC initials. Jimmy Carter, JC. So yeah, keep an eye on maybe Jimmy Carter has to die first before Kamala Harris takes over. Maybe we're waiting on that also. Let's see. When is his birthday? Is Jimmy Carter going to turn 99? Yeah, he is. So Jimmy Carter will turn 99 in like 10 days. My guess is he dies at 99, guys. Let's see what Jimmy Carter equals. He was the 39th president. Well, he equals the Jesuit order, 177, and Illuminati, 120. Yeah, that's a good connection, Square Peg. We just had Jimmy Carter die. Or we just had Jimmy Buffett die. And now we got Jimmy Carter. Yeah, and we had Philip die at 99 on the 99th day of the year. And now we have Jimmy Carter getting ready to turn 99. Yes, Kelly. Kamala does mean lotus, which rises out of the mud. Oh, I wanted to show you guys something. My girlfriend just sent me. Bye bye Biden. See if I can find this. Well, anyways, guys, on Twitter, I saw a magazine from 1987. That's the magazine cover said "Bye Bye Biden," but I didn't. Let me see if I can find it here. 1987. Yeah, Joseph. Jimmy Kimmel has COVID. Okay. Oh, James Carter equals 41, like Skull and Bones. Man, watch out for Jimmy Carter, guys, in the next, like, what if he dies on Friday the 13th, guys, or on the Skull and Bones 322 Yale's 322 anniversary coming up? I think we should be watching Jimmy. I don't know, guys. I can't find this magazine that says "Bye Bye Biden." So yeah, Joseph is saying that Jimmy Carter equals 41. So let me bring that up for you guys. So if you just use his actual name that he's known by, Jimmy Carter. Wait, Jimmy Carter. Oh, James Carter. Okay. So James Carter equals Skull and Bones. So you guys see this? James Carter. Just ignore the misspelling here. It's still the same. James Carter equals 41 and 76, like Skull and Bones. Yeah, his full name, James Earl Carter Jr., equals 177, like the Jesuit order. See, James Earl Carter Jr. So yeah, his full name has a 2-cipher match to the Jesuit order. Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to pull this up. Yeah, so anyways, I mean, that's something that hasn't been on my radar, Jimmy Carter, but you know what's really interesting is Jimmy Carter was the 39th president, right? Okay. And there was exactly 39 weeks this year between both Friday the 13th. So if you go from January 13th to October 13th, does James Earl Carter equal 149? Man, you guys keep giving me good information here. James Earl Carter? Oh, of course, guys. Look at this. All right. Well, I didn't even expect to be decoding this guy, but look at this. So James Earl Carter equals Skull and Bones. So yeah, I mean, what are the chances of that? I was talking in this whole decode about 149. And So what I was saying is that since Jimmy Carter obviously is connected to Skull and Bones, Jimmy Carter was the 39th president of the United States, and between Friday the 13th and Friday the 13th is 39 weeks this year. Okay, and again, this is all connected. This is all connected around the Skull and Bones and the Friday the 13th symbolism, right? Which, if you guys missed that, go back and watch because I've already talked about it so much. Square Peg, how does May 20? What are you saying about May 25th, Square Peg? That's Roman Reigns' birthday. Joseph, yeah, it looks like we already have half the Jimmy Carter death decode ready to go. Yep. Yeah, I bet, Joseph, you're already putting your decode together already, aren't you? Wouldn't that be crazy if he somehow dies? We just started on this live stream and then somehow Jimmy Carter dies in the next couple of weeks. That would be crazy. Oh, you had May 25th for Jimmy Carter's death. Okay. Interesting. I think it's pretty clear that he has to turn 99 first, in my opinion, because that'll be connected to Jupiter, and they love that 99. And to be honest with you guys, the 99 is also connected to judgment. If you spell it with the E, again, some people don't like this, but if you spell judgment with the E, it equals 99. And Jimmy Carter was born in Libra, which is all about the scales, right? The judgment. Interesting. I'm just typing in words here, guys. Yeah, Bob Barker. Okay, so now Joseph is bringing in some interesting ones. Betty White died at 99. Bob Barker died at 99. Prince Philip died at 99. When did Bob Barker die, Joseph? Do you remember? I can look it up. Hold on. I mean, to be honest with you, I feel like there's just going to have to be a high-profile death in the October timeframe, like that I'm talking about. Like, I just don't see how there can't be one. Remember, Bob Barker died the same day that Bray Wyatt died, I think. No, Bob Barker died a few days after Bray Wyatt, who I already connected to this ritual. Bob Barker, he died on August 26th. Let's see how many days before Jimmy Carter's birthday. Ooh. Oh, okay. Okay. So Bob Barker died at 99 this year, exactly 36 days before Jimmy Carter will turn 99. And we know this 36 is hugely connected to, well, 36 is 666 is the 36 triangular number, right? Yeah, so anyways, I thought I'd make that connection because considering that Bob Barker already died at 99. Yeah, Dolly Parton. Yeah, she's another one to look out for, I think. Marcel says nothing will happen. Yeah, we don't need anything to happen. We're just looking at Jimmy Carter. Okay, guys. Well, how long have I been on this stream? Over an hour now. Is there any last words? Anybody got any extra additions? Thank you, all of you guys who are adding to this decode. Square Peg, Joseph. Who else was? Rick was adding, I remember. But I appreciate all of you guys. If you guys haven't checked out Square Peg Divergent and Joseph Aquaviva 2222, they're both in the chat. Yeah, Square Peg. Maybe I should rephrase that. Maybe I shouldn't say ask you guys if you have any last words. I should probably just say, is there any more info you guys want to share? Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you, Square Peg. I also really enjoyed your last video that I was watching before I came here. See, I've been feeling a bit under the weather this week, and I guess Square Peg has also been feeling. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Maybe there's a high frequency going on here, like a frequency weapon is making me feel like crap all week. But I'm doing a detox diet, so I'm good. Yeah, Kelly, you're right. Nothing and everything happens every day. Exactly. Even the most little events are important. People are always looking for these big events. But I think Square Peg has proven she looks at a lot smaller events than I usually do. And these little events are important, especially as they lead up to other events, bigger events. I mean, how many little events did that happen that led up to 9/11, right? And how many little events led up to, COVID, right? How many little things just added up until they finally got to this more explosive event? So every day there's things happening, and we can't get so stuck on needing to see a big event every day, because that's not going to happen. I mean, how often do we see big events that everyone's talking about? I mean, it doesn't happen often. It only happens. The Matrix only lets this happen like a certain amount of times. Like, you have to have a space between those, I feel like. I mean, it was like, wasn't it like 222 months between 9/11 and COVID or something? So yeah, just like you said, Square Peg. I mean, people are always looking for these big events, but when I see something, a little event, like last month, guys, I was predicting something with Biden and Kamala Harris, right? On 8/9, August 9th. And then on August 9th, you had the Maui fires, okay? And then you had the guy from Utah who had my last name. That was crazy. So again, I was talking about 8/9 and something happening to Biden, right? Possibly. And then on 8/9, there's some guy in the news threatening Biden, and he has the same last name as me. I mean, come on now. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, that's the most crazy thing that's ever happened in my decodes. I was talking about this day, and then the very thing that obviously Biden didn't get, nothing happened to him, but there was a guy threatening him on that day that I predicted, and the guy had my last name. It's just like, what the heck, guys? Surely these people weren't watching my videos and just put the news out that some guy with the last name Robertson was trying to threaten Biden, like, on the very day I was talking about. And then, guys, we had a bunch of events last year, that were big, like Bray Wyatt dying at 36 of a heart attack, which equals 36. You had the Maui fires. You had the ritual at Burning Man. There was just a lot of things that happened, Yeah, I think a lot of times it is hindsight, but I think there are times where people can connect to the code and kind of get things right. I mean, I've seen it done from Square Peg. I've seen it done from me a bit, have I ever predicted an exact day right? No, but I thought the Queen could die in September last year, and she did. I mean, it's just kind of, you don't have to be right either. I'm not here to stroke our egos. We're just here to try to discover more of the code, right? Anyways, guys, this video is getting long, and if you guys would like to support the channel, my Buy Me a Coffee is in the top of the link, or the link's up there at the top of the chat. Also, if you guys will hit the like button on the way out. Yeah, Square Peg. I mean, you've already proven that you're on the right path of making predictions. You've proven, I've seen that you've gotten stuff right. So, I mean, but what I like about you, though, is that you're also just doing smaller events too. So it's a lot of times it's just a small little thing that not everyone's even noticing. Yeah, thank you, Blue Lotus, for coming by. I know you're a new subscriber. Thank you, Joseph, and thank you to you and all your subscribers. Much love. God bless. Thank you, Square Peg, to all of you and your subscribers. And yeah, much love to you all. Thank you guys so much for being a part of my channel as well. I really also enjoy being a part of your channels. Anyways, guys, take care out there. Please hit the like on the way out. Thank you guys for everything you do. Yeah, we'll see you guys soon. Hopefully, I'll be back on schedule and another live stream in the day after tomorrow. So, all right, take care out there. God bless you all.